Hello and welcome everybody. Today is a new day and we are going to start with, we are going to continue with Advice to Youth written by Mark Twain. We have already done the first part of this. You are highly interested to get the second part. It is an interesting topic, something that you will of course like. All the children, all students, every teacher will like this because this is very relatable. Okay, we get so many advices and we don't want to follow them. So Mark Twain writes something which is something that will interest us, okay, or we can say interest a child or a young person. So before we start, I am Reshmi Mukherjee. In my channel you get ICC, ISC, English literature and language topics. All the practice papers and everything are also uploaded, are being published in slothskill.com. This is my website. In my website you get a lot of materials, you can utilize them, and if you follow everything over there, I can tell you, without any tuition teacher, without following any book, you can score a lot of marks. Just remember to follow your textbook and whatever I am publishing in my website and channel. Also share it with your friends so that the views increase, and that is a little bit of help that you can do, right? So let us begin. Advice to Youth part 2. Today is the second day and we are going to do the second part. We will also come with questions, don't worry about that, okay? MCQs, complete the sentences, everything. So remember, last class we were looking into this picture where we talked about a statue which was made about the person to give some respect to the person who had invented anesthesia, right? So ultimately this is a different person, according to the author. This is a different person, and another person had actually invented it, and there is no relevance between these two people, and therefore this person will be remembered forever by many people, right? But the real person who had invented anesthesia, people will forget about him. So it is better to lie perfectly than say the truth in a very, in a mediocre way, right? So second paragraph, let's see the next one. Ah no, my hearer. So he continues with that speech only. The monument is made of hardy material. So you can see this material, this is made out of what? Something which is very hard and strong. But the lie it tells will outlast it a million years. But the lie that I have invented anesthesia, that is false. But because it is made out of a hardy material, that lie will last for a long period of time. An awkward, feeble, leaky lie is a thing which you ought to make it your unceasing study to avoid. Unceasing means you should not stop until you have perfected the art of lying. Okay, you should avoid lying very foolishly, leaky lie. Just like in the last class I was saying, you tell your mother that I am going out and then I went to the park, and later on your mother asks ki are park to it is closed in the afternoon. So where did you go then? So instead of this kind of a leaky lie, we need to perfect in our art, right? In the art of lying, because we should remember that if somebody can lie very well, that will last for a long period of time rather than a truth which is feeble. Such a lie as that has no more real permanence than an average truth. So average truth is equal to a feeble lie. So it is better to lie better than an average truth. If it is a great amount of truth, then you can of course say the truth only, and if you are lying, then you have to be perfect in your art and you have to lie perfectly, okay? Next, why? You might as well tell the truth at once and be done with it. So you can anyway say the truth. If it is a very strong truth, you can just tell that. A feeble, stupid, preposterous matlab absurd lie will not live 2 years, right? Just like the lie that I said, I went to the park. Park to afternoon mein band rehta hai, that is not open in the afternoon. Then where did you go? So that kind of an absurd, foolish lie is useless, okay? It will not survive. So except it be a slander upon somebody. Slander matlab when you want to defame somebody. See, when you want to defame somebody, that stays for a long amount of time. You say anything about anybody, ki Reshmi ma'am teaches very bad. This will spread like a wildfire. Everybody will come to know. Defamation is very easy. That is why you will see many people will say things in the comment of different YouTubers, different teachers to defame them, and that happens very fast. That spreads very fast. Even if it is a lie, and if it is a feeble, weak lie, it will last. If it is a defamation, slander, it is indestructible, then of course, but that is no merit of yours. Then of course that is not your merit, that is the society's merit, ki they will accept this kind of a slander, this kind of defamation very fast. like you will see people are interested in talking bad about others rather than talking good about the others, right? They will not say ki arey that boy has scored a lot of marks, but in case you score less marks, they will be interested in saying arey you know X person, he failed. So this will spread fast, but this is not the person's capability that he lied well. This is the capability of the society कि society का ही ऐसा ये एक behavior है कि they are more interested in the bad things rather than the good. Okay, so defamation will spread fast. Next, a final word, begin your practice of this gracious and beautiful art early. Begin now. So if you want to master this art of lying, then you have to start very early. Okay, if I had begun earlier, I could have learned how. So I don't know the way, na? That is why I am suffering when I have grown up. So it is better you start early so that you can master the art, and by that time you reach my age, you are capable of lying. Okay, but in the middle, don't lie like a foolish person. Okay, your lie must be strong. Okay, so next we will move to the next paragraph. So we need a new picture for that. Never handle firearms carelessly. So this is a firearm, as you can see from this picture. This is a firearm, but this you can understand that this is a very old one, right? Very old looking, all rusty. The sorrow and suffering that have been caused through the innocent but heedless handling of firearms by the young. This is a very important, see the lesson is what? Lesson is ki do not handle firearms carelessly. So if you are not good at it, if you don't know the reason why are you holding this firearm, don't hold it. Okay? This is a sarcasm of course, but very interesting one. You will see he writes funnily, but there is a reason behind it. So let's read the funny part, then we will discuss the difficult part. The sorrow and the suffering that have been caused through the innocent but heedless handling of firearms by the young. So young people who are not aware of the world a lot, so you will see their thoughtless handling of these arms cause a lot of trouble. Only 4 days ago, right in the next farmhouse to the one where I am spending the summer. So I went to a place to spend my summer, and I saw there is a house. A grandmother in that house, a grandmother, old and grey and sweet, one of the loveliest spirits in the land, very good grandmother. So was sitting at her work, she was doing something, when her young grandson crept in and got down an old battered means this kind of a gun, battered, damaged, rusty gun, which had not been touched for many years and was supposed not to be loaded, and pointed it at her, laughing and threatening to shoot. So what did he do with this gun, with this rusty gun? He, just like this picture, he held that gun and said ki I will shoot you. Okay, he was holding the gun like this, aiming at her, at his grandmother. Ki I will shoot you. But this was of course a joke, this is not a reality, no. In her fright, she ran screaming and pleading towards the door on the other side of the room. So she was so afraid that she ran, crying for help, ki don't shoot me. But as she passed him, he placed the gun almost against her very breast. So right over here, he was holding the gun or aiming here, and pulled the trigger. And he pulled the trigger. But he had supposed it was not loaded. Of course, the child was just joking, no? He knew that there was no bullet in the gun and it is rusty, it will not work. So he did that. And he was right, it wasn't. Of course, that gun was not loaded. So there wasn't any harm done. So no harm was caused. It is the only case of that kind I ever heard of. That means this is a unique case. This is a very unique case. Okay. Therefore, just the same, don't you meddle with, but you see what the grandmother could have, could have died out of heart attack, out of stroke, in that fear, no, ki perhaps the gun works, perhaps there is a bullet, kya hoga fir? In that stress, she might have passed away, right? So it is better not to handle the firearms like that, casually, thoughtlessly. So what is the real sense behind it? Let's understand. They are most deadly and unerring matlab perfect. Like guns have a quality to be perfect. See, nobody is perfect. No person is perfect. We cannot say ki I am perfect. I have certain qualities which are not right. Okay. So nobody is perfect, but guns are perfect. If you want to do some harm to somebody, your gun will work very well. So it is important that you act thoughtfully, not thoughtlessly when you are handling a gun. You don't have to take any pains at all with them. You don't have to have a rest. You don't have to have any sights on the gun. You don't have to take aim even. No. You just pick out a relative and bang away, and you are sure to get him. So we are so angry on people now these days that we can just choose a gun one day and just, we sometimes wish na ki I will shoot this person one day, because these people are so very disgusting and torturing. So you often want to shoot them, and guns work very fine. You can shoot them any day, okay, and it will work fine. A youth who can't hit a cathedral at 30 yards with a Gatling gun. Gatling matlab this kind of the picture you see, powerful weapon, you can call it a machine gun. So you see, you don't need any aim, you just can shoot. So somebody who cannot hit a cathedral, even if that person is given this kind of a machine gun which does not require an aim, with a Gatling gun in 3/4 of an hour can take up an old empty musket and hit the grandmother every time at 100. Within 100 yards also, from 100 yards also, this person can aim and shoot the grandmother. Okay, that can happen because guns always work fine when you are trying to destroy somebody, when you are trying to kill somebody. Okay, even if I don't know how to aim, maybe I'm very angry at somebody and I take a gun and shoot, it will kill that person, or it will hit that person at least. So it is important to act thoughtfully when you are trying to harm somebody. This is the main idea. Now what is the background? See, he also wrote a story called War Prayer. So he was against war. He had written that work against war, okay, anti-war theme. So we can understand from here that often we are manipulated to understand something. In reality, that is not the case. So when we are manipulated by the higher officials, by the government, you should go to war, you should give away your life for the country's sake. But see, China and India are fighting. Okay, China is intruding, we have to fight back. This intruding, China is using some people to fight. So these people are just giving their lives for imperialism, to gain more territory. So these people may die, they die also, and they are losing their lives just for the sake of higher authorities, orders. In reality, they are not our enemies. Do you know a Chinese person who is your enemy? No. They are fighting against us just because their government has said something, right? So it is important that we understand the reason behind the war and then approach. Okay, thoughtless war can lead to a lot of destruction. Okay, so we can understand, and that is why he is writing. Think of what Waterloo would have been if one of the armies had been boys armed with old muskets supposed not to be loaded, and the other army had been composed of their female relations. Just like we are always angry we are angry on our relatives because they keep on slandering us, bothering us, torturing us. We want to shoot them always. So imagine what would have happened to this Waterloo war, okay, which was fought by Napoleon. So what would have happened, that French army, okay, that war. So what would have happened over here if one side were little boys who were acting thoughtlessly and the other side there were women? There would be death and destruction, complete death and destruction, right? The very thought of it makes one shudder. So that would be very, devastating, right? So we can understand that he aims at this anti-war point, that be careful when you are holding arms, because Americans, they always have arms in their hands and they can shoot. Getting license over there is very easy, and you can shoot and kill anybody anytime, right? So it is important, if you have an arms in your hand, you have to know how to use it carefully, thoughtfully, because in America, getting license for arms is very easy. Now we will come to the last paragraph of this book, not the last, the second last. Okay. There are many sorts of books, but good ones are the sort for the young to read. So it is important that good ones, the good books, the good books should be read by young people, so that they can feed their mind with good stuff. If you are reading nonsensical books, that will ultimately not give you any knowledge. So read good books. Now the question is, what is a good book? Remember that they are a great and inestimable, unspeakable means of improvement. They will help you to improve, get knowledge. Therefore, be careful in your selection. So you have to be very careful while you are selecting a book. Okay, this kind of a book. Which book is good for you? My young friends, be very careful. Confine yourselves exclusively to Robertson's sermons, Baxter's Saints' Rest. All these are kind of holy books. The Innocents, now the last book he mentions is The Innocents Abroad and works of that kind. Now this Innocents Abroad is actually a travelogue written by Mark Twain. Okay, travel diary kind of. So over there we see that he actually, why did he mention this name after all those saintly books, holy books? Because he pokes fun at the expectations and the, you know, the ideas of the holy land, of the religious books. He challenges common beliefs, okay, and he wants us to get a clear picture. So when you are visiting different places, you should learn more, and from your observations, from your experiences of this society, of the you know, social standards, you develop some understanding, right? So that is what he wants from us as readers. Not just reading a holy book, acha, this is good, this is bad, this is not done, that should be done. Not like this. You grow your own experiences and work according to that, right? Last paragraph, we have come to the last paragraph, and this is a very interesting picture. So but I have said enough. I hope you will treasure up the instructions. So I have given you a lot many do's and don'ts. So I believe that you will treasure these advices which I have given you and make them a guide to your feet and a light to your understanding. Light means it should give you a clarity, clear picture of understanding. Build your character thoughtfully and painstakingly upon these precepts. Precepts means rules and regulations that people tell you. Follow that, and by when you have got it built, when you have followed all these advices slowly and steadily, all the advices that I have given you, that people have given you, after following all that, you will be surprised when you grow up. You will be gratified to see how nicely and sharply it resembles everybody else's. So if you follow all these advices, what will happen? You will see soon you have become everybody. Means there will be no individual differences, okay, like all people are not same. They cannot follow the same advices given in the holy books, right? So he criticizes what? The conformity and the lack of individuality, right? What is your individuality? Your difference make you different from the other person, right? Otherwise everybody would have become like creation of like kind of robots, right? Everybody same. So we are different because of these individual differences. So we should not erase them. We should try to develop ourselves, but we should avoid being one. Everybody following the same religious book, becoming same as kind of robots, same looking creatures. So that should be avoided. Individual differences should be you know, accepted in the society, and we should criticize this conformity. Ki this is being said, follow this. You use your brain to understand whether it is right or wrong, then you do it. So logic is very important. So it is a very beautiful sarcastic piece written by Mark Twain. We can understand why it is so very important in today's world, and so long back this was written, but still it is relevant. So before we end, once again I will remind you, slothskill.com, you will get all question answers, notes, MCQs. You can follow that, practice from there. We will discuss few questions here in the channel also, but do follow that also. Join my Telegram channel. वहाँ पे I give the updates about what is uploaded and everything, what is published in the website. Get used to that, make proper use of that, and then there will be nobody who can stop you from scoring good marks, right? Thank you so much. See you in my next video.